Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It's Monday morning. It's a coffee kind of morning. There's another contest out there from the wonderfully beautiful Christina at the Vinyl Guru. Pretty simple, but also difficult contest at the same time. Show 5 albums that you would recommend anyone to discover and listen to, which sounds easy, but it's not necessarily easy. I try to choose 5 that were different and unique. One maybe not, because it's a new album, but everyone's talking about it. It could be a brand new album. It could be an old album, different genres, whatever you decide to show, but something unique and something that you feel and you would want someone else to listen to and discover. And that's what I love doing. I love talking about music and saying, "Oh, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to that. You need to. Do you know these guys? No. Well, you definitely need to check this out." And whether it's on Spotify or wherever you listen to your music, I'm always trying to encourage people to discover more music, and because there's so much good music out there really is, and music that needs to be discovered, and music that in some cases has been forgotten about. But hopefully I've chosen some good ones and some different ones, because you tend to show the same albums all the time in some cases, and trying to get away from that. And with this new haul that I have, it's given me that opportunity to expand my horizons and show you guys different stuff. So I could have chosen this one. This is Babe Ruth First Base. I just discovered Babe Ruth about 4 months ago, maybe. Wow, amazing band. Could have chosen that one. I could have chosen Kids Stuff, but I chose this one. And when I heard this one, and it was just a week ago or so that I picked this one up. This is Amor Caballero. I think that's how you say it. It just blew me away. They're good. I mean, they're a good band. The other two are similar tracks throughout, but this one has so many elements in it. So to back up a little bit, so Babe Ruth is an English band from Hartfield, Hertfordshire, formed in '71. Prog rock, psychedelic rock, some pop. This is 1973's Amor Caballero. It's the second album by the band. Got some Spanish influences in it, some orchestral stuff, some horns. They do a cool cover of the Capitals' Cool Jerk, which is a fun song to listen to. Great song called Lady. There's some rockers on it as well, some R&B. Again, it's all over the place, but done really, really well. Well sung by the beautiful vocals of Janita Hahn. Her voice is just to die for. It's just remarkable. Such range, and it's really, really good. So it's an album, definitely an album and a band you need to listen to. I'm so glad that I discovered them. I've heard of them. I just didn't know any of their stuff. I completely thought it was a different type of band altogether. And then when I heard her voice, and it just blew me away. So yeah, Babe Ruth, Amor Caballero. If someone wants to get into the blues, and this is where I started into the blues, this is a great start. Because it's not in your face rock, and it's not in your face with blistering guitar solos. which I love. Don't get me wrong. I love. I die for a guitar solo. That's my thing. But this is just a smooth entrance into blues, country blues, easy listening, relaxing. Just sit back and close your eyes and listen to blues. This is Kev Mo. This is his debut album. Sorry, his second album. I apologize. His second album. Some think it's his debut album, but it actually, his first album was under his real name, Kevin Moore, called Rainmaker. So this is his second album. This happens to be the 25th anniversary edition, and there's only 1,500 copies made, and this is number 769, if you can see that. It's also on gold vinyl. Pretty reasonable on Amazon, but really happy to have it. Really great start into the blues. It's filled with mostly, well, there's 5 songs with just him and his guitar. And he's got a beautiful finger picking style playing. There's no wild guitar licks. There's a couple of rockers on here, and there's a great solo on one song, but for the most part it's pretty laid back. He plays tribute to Robert Johnson on a couple of tracks, Kind Hearted Woman Blues, and he also does a funkier version of Came Into My Kitchen by Robert Johnson. And the rest of the album was written by Kev Mo. As I said, with 5 songs with just him and his guitar. But he also plays a cool banjo, some steel guitar, rocks it out with a couple of great tracks. There's a wonderful solo on Don't Try to Explain. Again, anyone that wants to get into the blues, it's a great way to start. And I want to get more of this guy's stuff. It's a great album. Kev Mo, self-titled. Another band that I just recently discovered, and this was through the big haul that I picked up a couple of weeks ago, the 300 and some albums that I got. Of course, heard of these guys, but never had any of their stuff. So I could have chosen this one. This is Back to Earth by Rare Earth. But I chose this one. This is mainly because of the cover, but the tracks inside are amazing as well. But it's such a unique cover. This is Willie Remembers by Rare Earth. So Rare Earth, psychedelic rock, psychedelic soul. Detroit, formed in 1960. I didn't realize that they were around that long. One of the few soul bands that include all white players. And this is 1972's release, Willie Remembers, their 5th album, and the first that they produce on their own. They do a couple of Temptation covers, Think of the Children and Come With Your Lady, which are some of the best tracks on the album as well. The album kind of combines boogie rock, some soul, some funk, psychedelia, also some rockers on it as well. It's a wide mixture of stuff on the album. It's a great diverse band, great playing, great singing, real excellent. They try to hit it commercially with this one. Their previous albums were produced by producers, I guess, and different sound. This is one they did on their own, and I think they did a great job on it. And I'm glad to have it in my collection. So next, another band that, of course, I've heard of for years and years and years, but never owned any of their stuff. Um, and this was a hard decision to choose the right album. So I have, this is Roxy Music, I have Manifesto, and I have Flesh and Blood. But one I think you should discover is Avalon. Which unfortunately happens to be their last studio album. So Roxy Music, English rock band formed in 1970 by the great Brian Ferry and bassist Graham Simpson. Avalon was the 8th album and the last studio recorded and released by the band in 1982. I was just blown away by this album. It's so good. There's only 8 tracks on it, and it's a short album as well. Too short. So, a couple of great tracks. More Than This, big hit for the band. The title track, Avalon, While My Heart Is Still Beating. It's a sophisticated sound. Brian Ferry's voice doesn't sound better on it. It doesn't rock like the rest of their albums. Like the previous 2 that I showed are a little heavier. This is more laid back, well perfected, sophisticated, as I said, sound by the band. And there's no bad tracks on the album. It's really, really good. And they went on top. I wish they had more in their tank to continue on, but they definitely went out on a bang. They didn't go out with a whimper on this one. So definitely check out Avalon. Great album. Great album. And finally, what do you have to say about this? This is my second favorite band. One that I am more in love with now than the first band. I love, of course, the Beatles being the first band, but this is the band that I had first. I received their first album way back. It was the very first introduction to rock for me, and this is their last studio album, or their latest studio album. Hopefully not their last, but it's Whoosh by Deep Purple. And what you see here is a DVD on it. That's why it's in the cover here. But man, what a fantastic album! And the DVD. First off, let me start with the DVD. The first half of the DVD is about an hour's worth of Roger Glover and Bob Ezrin, who produced the album, their last 3 albums. Talking about the album and playing pieces of it, and talking about how it came together, how they played live in the studio, how they started an album, whether it was just a bit of a riff from a guitar or an organ piece, or Ian Gillan's vocals, and they build a song around that. It's a cool part of the video, and Bob Ezrin just is so good, and he's brought the best out of these guys. And then the second part of the video is them live last year at Hellfest in France, and how these 70-some-year-old guys still rock it out in front of a young crowd, and the crowd was just into it. At first, when they first played their a couple of their tracks, you could see the crowd walking around and stuff, not really paying attention. Who are these old guys up on the stage? But then halfway through, they started to gather. At the end, they were singing the songs as Gillan held out the mic, and just getting into the band. And these guys never stopped for about 2 hours. Ian Pace, the drummer, because the first few tracks there was no break. They just went from one song to the next to the next to the next. And Ian Pace, what a fantastic drummer. Just held that beat. Roger Glover, amazing bass player. Steve Morse, sorry. Um, what a remarkable guitarist. He's just brought so much to the band and raised the level of the band up. And yeah, just remarkable stuff. And it's beautifully packaged. I mean, there's a fuller deluxe version that you can get from this, but I didn't choose that. Oh, I forgot to mention Don Airy, of course, who took over from the late great John Lord. Don Airy, what a remarkable player. And the play between him and Steve Morse, almost like a competition between the two. And they had to, in the studio, they said they had to hold Steve Morse back a little bit because he just wanted to go nuts. But yeah, amazing album. Unfortunately, it's not on colored vinyl, it's just on black vinyl, but the label is purple. But if you have a chance to listen to, and there's a 45, what looks like a 45, even though it plays on 33, the last, I don't know if you can see the grooves on that, the last two songs on here are some people play it on 45. I haven't tried that yet, but because it plays fine on 33. But yeah, so the album itself, from start to finish, is remarkable. You got Throw My Bones, Drop the Weapon, Raw and the Same, in the Dark, Nothing at All, No Need to Shout, Step by Step, What the What. What the What is kind of a funky rock bar band type of song. At first it wasn't my favorite track on the album, but I've since grown to love it. The Long Way Around, The Power of the Moon, haunting Power of the Moon, Reminisce Impossible, Man Alive, which is an amazing song, and The Address, which was their very first song on their very first album, Shades of Deep Purple, and it's an instrumental, and they do an homage to that track. Now, Anthony at AGK made the reference to, and The Address. The reason why this may be their last album, and The Address was their very first song. This is their very last song on this album, even though there is a final bonus track on the album called Dancing in My Sleep, and The Address should have been the last song on it. So whether that means that they started with their very first song, they ended with their very first song, it could be. But Roger Glover didn't commit to anything. He didn't say, yes, it's going to be our last, or he said, whatever happens, happens. If it is, we've done everything we need to do. But he's not going to say, yes, it is, or no, it isn't. So a wonderful, wonderful album. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. If you don't have it, get it. I'm a huge Deep Purple fan, and this just adds to it. It's out of the three albums by Bob Ezrin, I'm not finding one that's better than the other. They're all unique, but this is definitely one that I've listened to constantly for the last 2 or 3 weeks since I've had it. Not consistently, but I definitely throw it on whenever I can, whether it's on Spotify on my phone or whether at home. And I've watched the DVD twice now. I want to watch it again, maybe after this video. So anyway, good luck to everyone in the contest. Thank you, Christina, for this amazing contest. Hopefully you enjoy my entry, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.